Awareness of affordability issues and the crunch to find suitable housing has made national headlines and was a focal issue in the 2019 federal election. The rising cost of housing in Canada's three largest cities, Toronto, Vancouver and Montreal, has gained a lot of attention. It has pushed many people to smaller secondary urban centres and is linked to the renaissance of Canada's mid and small-sized cities. Atlantic Canadian cities, for example, are now booming after decades of stagnation. This is in large part due to young people returning to the region and the rise of immigration, which are changing the face of the region as cities and fueling their economies, but also putting pressure on their affordability. Read more, how newcomer entrepreneurs are making a difference in Atlantic Canada. Cities in Atlantic Canada sell their high quality of life, their smaller size and their comparative lower cost of living compared to other cities across the country. But smaller communities cannot take it for granted that these features will not change as they attract more people. A new report from the Perceptions of Change project investigated how residents in the region as major cities perceive recent changes, and found that people are largely supportive of economic changes but are concerned about affordability. A clear majority of residents surveyed in Charlottetown, Moncton, Halifax and St. John's -60% across the four cities, feel that the economic changes over the past 5 to 10 years have been for the better. There is much consensus on this issue, save for St. John's, where a majority of people felt things had turned for the worse. This is likely tied to the fall in the price of oil and its effects on the Newfoundland and Labrador economy. People feel incomes are rising. People in the four cities also largely found that incomes were improving over the past 5 to 10 years. Across those cities, 59% felt that people in their city had higher incomes in recent years. The only outlier, again, was St. John's, which is likely tied to the economic downturn that the city and Newfoundland and Labrador as a whole have faced since the collapse of oil prices in 2014 to early 2015. Even so, a greater share of St. John's residents felt there was more income rather than less, and the majority felt that things were about the same. A resident digs a path from his house in St. John's in January 2020 following a record-breaking blizzard. People in St. John's don't feel incomes are rising in their city. The Canadian Press / Andrew Vaughan. Clearly, people living in Atlantic Canadian cities are seeing economic growth and the benefits of newcomers and young people. However, that positive sentiment is paired with concern over neighborhood affordability in the region as major cities, where a clear majority of people, 58%, report that their neighborhood is less affordable compared to 5 to 10 years ago. The concerns are highest in Charlottetown and Halifax, with 75% and 63% of residents surveyed expressing this sentiment respectively. Both Charlottetown and Halifax have both seen significant growth as a result of newcomers arriving through the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program and an increase in the provincial nominee. You can read full post on Cryptophans News, link available in text below.